Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, welcome back. I have a great guest today. I am joined by Miss Winsome Bentley. Winsome, how are you today?
I am great. How is everybody?
Awesome. Winsome, it's so nice to put the voice with the face, because we're on Zoom right now. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself? Because I could go on. I mean, about so many things you've done. I'll just name a couple. I mean, I know you're a successful author. You got a writing service. I mean, people want you to come speak at their events. So why don't you tell me who is Winsome Bentley?
Wow, Winsome is a multifaceted entrepreneur. So Winsome is a woman of many talents. Just like you said, I am an author. Currently, I have a book on Amazon. It's called Mind Blown, MINDBLOWN. And I'm very happy to say that it's been ranked one of the best sellers so far on Amazon. So I'm super hyped about that.
Awesome.
It's a great, yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great fiction, quick, easy read, and definitely something that we all can connect with, right? So, yes. Of course, that takes creative writing, and that is one of the skill sets that I do offer in my institution. Of course, I also do modeling. I do what many people in society consider BBW curvy size models. So that's not the normal range of what people would normally consider. So they call it plus size modeling. So I've been doing that for a while, and I'm very happy to say I just had my second magazine feature this week.
Nice.
This week.
Congratulations.
2 in 1 week.
Good
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I average about Thank you. I average about a feature a month, on different magazines. Currently this week, I actually had two for Fashion Trends magazine, and I'm very pleased about that. I was their intro cover model, and then this morning, I just got the email that I'm actually here in their second edition. So many people don't get that option to be featured 2 times in 1 week with one magazine, and that's an amazing accomplishment. So
no doubt.
Yes, definitely. So I'm doing my thing.
You're killing it.
Oh, well, that's the plan. That's the plan, Casey. It's experience to win. So you got to have the Winsome Bentley experience. You know what I mean? It's definitely, I'm using the experiences in my life to win at this game of life. So definitely it's a full circle.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about that experience to win. How did it come about? And who's a good candidate to work with you?
Anyone's a good candidate. Let's just be honest, Casey. I mean, we all live life. We all have experiences. We all have different things that have led us to where we are today. But we have to actually find the angle of how we can have that experience combined with our learning lessons to actually say, how can I have this become a benefit to me? And that is the purpose of Experience to Win. So whatever experiences we've had in life, good, bad, or indifferent, the angle that you approach it and the outcome is actually what determines what lessons you learn and how you can now use that experience to better yourself. For example, I'll use myself. That's how Experience to Win was birthed. It came about through the pandemic. I actually had a life-changing experience where I actually had a DNA test reveal to me that my father is not my father. Yeah. And that shifted my whole view on life. Because let's just be honest, Casey. I mean, I may not look it, but I'm an adult. So, to live your whole life and kind of have the carpet kind of pulled out from under you, everyone needs an identity, right? Everyone needs to feel grounded. Everyone needs to know where they come from. So to feel that as an adult, that's life-changing, that's shifting. And then the outcome that happened after it, it was just, Casey, it was something else. But throughout my whole life, I've always learned to land on my feet. I've been like a Cheshire cat. So no, it's true. It's true. When I've had several different things, and I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me because I'm a jovial, honest, positive, forward focused type of person. I've actually had it, Casey, where I've buried a child. I have a daughter that passed away. I've had one of my sons get hit by a drunk driver, and the drunk driver was a cop. I've had a very, very, very harsh divorce. It was just so many things that have covered my life. Yet you're here seeing the pretty face with the pretty smile, and you see me keep going. That's the experiences I use to win. That's how the business came about. And if I can do it, anyone else can do it. Seriously.
Wow. Well said. Well said. Incredible. I mean, what a
Thank you.
What a life you've led, and how you're bringing that to other people is just amazing. I mean, for instance, if people don't know, if they're new to your show, that experience you were talking about, where you recently found out, you put that into a book, into a best-selling book.
I did. Casey, let me tell you, this whole Winsome Bentley show, this whole Experience to Win, the podcasting, the business, the entrepreneurial things, they all kind of formulate who I am, right? So you're learning different facets, different angles, different viewpoints of Winsome Bentley. When you see me online, in the magazines or in the fashion shows, that's Winsome as a model. So you get to see me, you get to see my sassy side, you get to see the beauty, you get to see makeup. Because as a model, I'm very diverse, Casey. I model clothes, I model shoes, I model luggage, I model sunglasses, I model listen, cut the check. Wherever it is, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But, outside of that, that's just one angle. You actually get to see the studious, the academic side, how I write. And how I write, as we all know, writing is art, right? So to actually visualize art is actually what I bring to people. You have to be able to connect with people. They have to be able to understand the story, visualize the story. I've gotten so many reviews, so many feedback. Oh my God, Winsome, we need more people like you. Oh, wow, I've gone through something like this. So to be able to touch and connect with people, that's what Experience to Win is all about. So my speaking goes hand in hand with that. I've been a
Tell me more about
your
speaking gigs. Tell me more, please.
Sure, of course. So as you can tell, I love to chat. So I'm the type of person.
You're very good at it.
Thank you. I have a very engaging personality. I can laugh, I can joke, I smile a lot. And that actually is the first thing people should know. When you want to speak and connect with people, people are reading you even before they hear you, even before they actually learn who you are. You have to be able to put their defenses down. You have to be able to be vulnerable. You have to let people learn you, and they have to be comfortable. They have to learn to trust you. Then your words come in, then your behaviors come in, because that's when they're learning you. But to present yourself and be the best person you are is the best benefit. And it starts with a smile. It starts with a smile. I smile at everything. I smile through everything, because at the end of the day, this is my business card, even before I hand you my composite card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a composite card. A composite card is like your business card for modeling. So it has like my measurements, my shoe size. I could give it to the designers. I give it to the different people so they can have clothing ready for me when it's time to do the fashion show. Right. So they see the smile. They have to be able to see me in different angles. Hey, will she fit this outfit? Will she fit this head wrap? It's the same thing with speaking. They want to know, what's your content? Who are you? What have you done? Why should we trust you? Why should we take anything you say? Can you speak? Do you understand grammar? Does it make sense? Are you able to engage the clients? Things like that. So podcasting is very, very, very similar to that. So I like to continue to build my skills in the same continuum. So of course, being a public speaker, which I've done for many years, also has led me to the podcasting and different ventures that I'm aiming for. So as you know, writing and speaking go hand in hand. They're visual arts,
Yeah. Wow. Well said again. But you teach people how to write, correct?
Yes, I do provide creative writing services. That is correct. And that could be fiction, nonfiction, autobiography. It could be copywriting services. It could be a card if you just want to send it to your mom or your dad for Mother's Day, Father's Day. It could be a poem if you're a dude in the doghouse and you really want to get back with your mother. You know what I mean? I don't discriminate. Listen, as long as creative writing is a need, I am your kid. So I'm here
Gotcha.
for it.
So will you
Yes.
work with a kid in high school, getting ready for college, do an essay or something like that? Will you do that?
Of course, of course. There's no limit. There's no limit. See, writing is universal, and you have to be able to understand the content, but understand the person because people usually write how they speak. That is the name of the game. So how I speak is probably a little different than you, Casey, and it would be a little different from a kid in college. So teaching them on their level so that they can understand, I have to now go back to when I was in school, when I was getting trained, when I learned creative writing. It was a process for me. I
Mhm.
wasn't the age I am now. So you get back into that, you learn your craft, and then you learn how to connect to your audience, your students, your clients. Okay, how can I get this information across that it resonates with them? They learn it and then they're able to apply it. Yeah,
Gotcha. Now,
definitely.
I want to throw something at you, something that you talk about, and I really want to hear your take on this.
Okay.
When I say excuses are not reasons, this is something that you've talked about in your speaking gigs. Can you expand on that for us, please?
Of course, of course. This is actually something I speak on in real life, in my personal life. One thing about me, and I'm pretty sure it comes across in my podcasting and in me just having a conversation with you. I want the listeners and I want everyone in my life to know and understand who I am, what I represent, and what I'm about. And what I'm not about, Casey, is excuses. I'm not about that. I can't stand it. I don't respect it. It actually has no place in my life. I can't speak for anyone else. And it might come off a little strong, but let me explain. When you have a reason for something, you're actually validating a concern and saying to someone, hey, this is because of this. So it's like ebb and flow, it's logic. You're given the issue and then the equality of it, the reasoning for
Yeah.
it. So you're kind of explaining yourself, right?
Hmm.
That's different than actually giving excuses. Excuses is why you couldn't get it done, all the issues and the barriers that you face, but you chose not to make a solution, the repetitive behavior, the woe is me, the mindset of just, not being accountable. And that is poor choice making. Now, I'm not expecting perfection because none of us are perfect, including myself. However, when we live in a society where we're sharing space with other people, I think it's fair to give the best version of yourself. So let's be honest. Reasons are fair, but excuses are not. So no excuses.
Wow. Wow. I mean, are these the type of things that you'll talk about in your motivational speaking and your inspirational
And
speaking? This is really interesting.
thank you so much, Casey. Definitely it is. This amongst other things.
Yeah.
I definitely get into so many topics. Let's be honest, we live every single day. There's so many things that connects us all. There is a plethora of topics that I cover. So yes, this is just one of them.
Well, what do you mean when you tell us the topic of being comfortable with a charade? What does that mean?
Okay. We are not to be comfortable with charades. And what I mean by that is in life, I don't know about you, but I know from just everyday living, we have people that actually are more comfortable putting on a charade than living their true self. They like to live in an alternate universe. They provide virtual reality. They send you their representative. The charade is part of who they are, whether they're uncomfortable being themselves, they don't know how to be themselves, they're unsure if someone will like or respect them, whatever their reasoning is, they have become comfortable with living a charade. Those are narcissistic people, people with personality disorders, people with social anxiety. It could be a variety of reasons. Now, while I'm not here to judge anyone, because of course I am not judge and jury over anyone, it is a bit unfair to their audience. And what I mean by that is when you are living in a place on earth where we all share this planet, how fair is it that you want to present to me? And I'm going to use myself as an example. You want to present to me some BS. You want to put on a charade. You want me to buy it. And then you want to spoon feed me the BS and you want me to take it with a smile. That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me because I genuinely live my truth. I genuinely am who I am. So I'm already at a disservice because the scales don't balance. I'm here and you're here.
Right.
There's no balance here. So where's the equilibrium? What am I getting from you? You might be getting something out of this equation, but I'm getting nothing. So I'm not comfortable with any charade. And that usually we all find out the charade after the fact, right? When we learn who they really are, or they can't keep up the charade any longer, you know, or anything else like that. But that sucks because then they've wasted our time,
Right.
or they've wasted energy, you know, and that's not fair to us. So how does it leave? It leaves a person feeling unbalanced because the scales weren't balanced, and unfair. And that's not cool. That's not cool. So I don't want anyone to be comfortable with the charade. I actually encourage people to genuinely be yourself. Somebody will like you. Somebody, whoever it is, you just have to find your niche. As long as you're not injuring yourself or others, or you're not doing anything that's a detriment, learn to be yourself and comfortably expose who you are to the world. Let people learn you. There's got to be something about you that people like. So I want to encourage, you know, people that actually do that type of behavior. Don't.
Wow. So well explained. Thank you for that. That's you can tell why you're in such demand to come speak. I mean, wow, yeah, you're a very interesting person, Winsome. I believe we got some instant feedback. Some people want to talk to you, Mr. Producer.
Yay!
Yeah, we have Tom in New York wants to know, do you think your life would be different right now if you never looked for answers about your father?
Oh, good question, Tom.
Good question, Tom. Yes, and yes, and yes. The reason why, it is. The reason why it would be different, Tom, is because it actually was different. It was different. When I did not look for my dad, I lived a very different life. Tom, I always wondered, like, I don't connect with this person. Why do you behave this way? Because I'm not on that type of time, you know, things like that. So I actually had distanced myself from some portions of that family. And I was already formulating who I am as an adult and who I want to be and what I want to show my children. But now that I actually have scientific empirical data that provides me confirmation, it was almost intrinsic, Tom. It's almost like I was guided there. And now this new family that I have, I look like them, first of all. I connect well with them, and we have very similar vibes. So to answer your question, Tom, yes, it would be very different.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Great question. Mr. Producer, what else we got?
We have Sarah, and she's in Philadelphia. Sarah asks, do we use the pandemic as an excuse not to find our own path?
Oh, wow. Good one, Sarah. Thanks for the question. I don't believe that we use it as an excuse not to find our path, because I found mine during the pandemic. But I think what Sarah is asking, and I think what her question is do people use it as like a crutch, you know, like do people depend on that and kind of use that? I've seen it done, Sarah. I've definitely seen it done. I just don't believe everyone is on that type of time. And that goes back to what I was saying a minute ago, Sarah. I encourage everyone to genuinely be themselves, genuinely find your niche, find your path, let your experience become what you need it to be a winner in life. So great question, Sarah, but I definitely think it's a toss up. It depends on who it is, but I still encourage people to genuinely be who they are.
Gotcha. All right, Miss Producer, we got time for another one? Yeah, awesome. Okay, here we go.
All right. We have Nancy in Connecticut.
Hey, Nancy.
Were there times you woke up in the morning and felt lost? How did you handle it?
Great question, Nancy. Nancy, I felt that way in the morning. I felt that way at night. I felt that way 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, Nancy. And I'm being as honest with you as possible. Feeling lost is actually truly innately connected to how your emotions and your mental status kind of, join together. I felt that way during this process, and I felt that way before this process. I have felt lost. Yes, Nancy, I have. And lost is different from loss, right? LOST. You could feel lost and not truly feel grounded or know where you are. But I've also felt lost, LOSS, and I felt both. And I felt it during different times in my life, Nancy, and over a variety of period. So to answer your question, Nancy, I have felt that. Yes. And I think that's a normal human emotion. I genuinely like who I am. I'm Winsome 2.0, very different than the Winsome I was before this situation. So to be in my rebirth, which is where I am, I'm in my rebirth. I can honestly just genuinely share that with you and say, yes, I've been there.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for your honesty, Winsome. Winsome,
Of course.
how has faith, how would you say faith has brought you on this journey that you're on, and you're taking us all with you? Has faith played a part?
It has. It has. I'm very spiritual, not overly religious by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely spiritually connected. I grew up that way. Both of my grandmothers growing up, were very instrumental in that. And, they say like you raise a child in a certain way and he shall never depart, I think is the way that it goes. Don't quote me if I misspoke, but I think that's the general concept of it. I am spiritually connected. I am a person who actually loves connecting with people. I've been called the connector, the pioneer, by friends and family and different things like that. But it is truly because of my connection to who I believe my higher being is, and my conceptualization of who my God is. So it does play a part. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. It gives me an attitude of gratitude. It keeps me in line with how I need to also raise the 2 teenage sons that I have, and how I want people to see me and intrinsically connect with me. So yes, it does play a part.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Producer, we got another question?
Yeah, we have Sabrina in Dallas.
Hey, Sabrina.
She says, how do we tell if someone is putting up a charade, and is it sometimes obvious?
I like that one, Sabrina. Sometimes it's obvious, but more times than not, it isn't. And let me quickly explain. When you can tell if someone is putting on a charade with the obvious, you can either read their words will not line up with their actions. That's the first red flag. If their words are not lining up with their actions, that's as real as it gets, Sabrina. Second of all, a lot of times when people sometimes lie or exaggerate the truth, we're going to use it like that, exaggerate the truth, they tend to be nervous, fidgety, blinking a lot, coughing, just different body language that you could read. However, for those that actually practice this lifestyle, we're going to call them con artists, because that's what they do. They're trying to con you. For those people, they've practiced, Sabrina, so they're good. And when I tell you they're good, they're good. They're good. You got to give it up to them, because let's be honest, that's a skill. And they worked on perfecting their craft. So that's their skill. As effed up as it is, it's real. That's their skill. So at the end of the day, yes, you will eventually know based on 2 things, Sabrina. They will either eventually reveal themselves because they can't keep up the charade anymore, or you will actually learn that they are actually full of it. And that could be based on a lie that you caught them in. That could be based on something that doesn't add up. God could reveal something to you. It could be an event, a setting, a situation. Life happens to all of us, and we all go through life. But let's be honest, things eventually actually balance themselves out. So somebody that's putting on a show cannot keep that up forever. They cannot keep that charade up forever. So either they will eventually fall, or you will actually learn them. So it happens.
Winsome, what a great answer. I mean, it's so true. It's like, when someone has to remember all the lies that they've told you, that's a lot of work. It's got to be, right?
It is.
So that's why it's always better just to, like you're saying, just tell the truth, and you don't have to remember anything. It's easy.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Guys, I've been on with the one and only Winsome Bentley. Winsome, tell us where to get a hold of you, because we're out of time here. But tell us how to get a hold of you, and anything you want to leave the audience with. Yeah, you're a
Of
great guest.
course.
So interesting.
Yes. So everyone can join me here every week for the Winsome Bentley Experience, the Winsome Bentley Show. I can be found at my website, www.experience2win.com. That's experience, the number 2, WIN. I'm also on social media platforms. Please follow me on IG at Experience2WIN, Facebook at Experience2WIN, Twitter at Experience2WIN, LinkedIn at Experience2WIN, YouTube at Experience2WIN. I am everywhere you want to be. So I'm not hard to find.
Well, congratulations on this amazing week you've had. The two in
magazine features.
Modeling, and congrats on the book.
You. Thank you.
We're going to hear more about it next week on the Winsome Bentley Show, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.